Hello, and welcome to Azril Ontology. Today, we'll be covering Destruction Warlock. Now, Destruction Warlocks have received a few changes here and here. As you notice, I now use soul shards, which you could just say is a glorified reskin of embers. But mana has become more of an emphasis, as in it's no longer any more unlimited mana. Well, at least somewhat. So you're now given mana tap as a skill to sustain your mana pool. So just like Demo and Athlete, all three specs somewhat need to pay attention to their mana pool as well as their secondary resource shards. This will cost for all three specs. Alright, so Destro, like I said, now uses shards. There are some abilities that require shards. Chaos Bolt and Rain of Fire. Rain of Fire is still primarily to be AoE, but it has a few new augmentations here and here through the artifact and some other external sources, but ignore the damage for now. It's not tuned properly, but as time goes on they will fix damage numbers. Your generators are still somewhat the same: Immolate, Tick, and Immolate crits. Your conflag now generates 1 soul shard guaranteed. Incinerate just deals damage. Doesn't really generate any shards at all. See, if I just deal damage, nothing. Not even a little poke, not a little tip. So these two are primarily the way for you to generate shards. Let's go over the talents. Now, I believe there are two ways to play this, and there is obviously some circumstantial stuff. Let's start off with one way of playing it. There's a fast way of playing Warlocks. You could say something that's all about throwing out big snap numbers, which is Backdraft, using conflag to lower the cast time of a Chaos Bolt, so you can back-to-back Chaos Bolts in short windows, and that goes really well with this talent here, Eradication. As you can see, it's a 6-second. Every time you obviously Chaos Ball, that would refresh. We also take into consideration trinkets, potions, other external sources, certain windows. So Backdraft overall is like a quality of life. Get out a free Chaos Bolt 30% quicker. I would never use this on Incinerate, since Incinerate doesn't generate anymore. So you're actually better off using this on a Chaos Bolt, just to buff the Chaos Bolt. So instead, I've gone with the slower spec, something that's more requires a UI, something to track, something to like make things easier if you are someone that's very UI heavy, and that's Roaring Blaze, where the first thing you're going to do when you immolate is you're going to conflag straight away, and by conflagging straight away you just buff that immolate completely, instantly, because it just increases the damage of an immolate on that target. But if you was to refresh or reapply or somehow do something to that immolate, it would lose the damage modification, which is very surprising actually, because there is a pandemic across all specs. Now if you're a Warlock, you might know what pandemic is from back in the day, but everyone has this. When you apply a dot to a target or a hot or whatever, and you apply that spell again, you are given an increased duration. So if I immolate here, immolate is 14, 13, but if I immolate again, bam, you saw it was at 19 seconds. So there's like a threshold, like a refreshing threshold. But the problem is with Roaring Blaze is if you refresh to immolate, you lose the damage. So I was kind of hoping that they would actually change this, allow you to keep that pandemic playstyle, and only the remaining small amount would actually transfer from Roaring Blaze. So it wouldn't be like you would be abusing Roaring Blaze. It would just allow you to not be in a playstyle where you have to let your dot drop or you will lose damage. But other than that, that's those two spells. But when it comes to ad fights, no brainer, you're gonna take Shadowburn. And there's a nice little trick with Shadowburn as well. But Shadowburn is crazy. It's not really an execute anymore. It behaves like an execute because it gives you more shards when the target dies within those 5 seconds. But the way it plays, I'll get into later on with another talent, it is very, very good. You can actually even use this for damage, straight from 100%. 30 row. Now, reverse entropy is that somewhat I was on about, where your chaos bolts and rain of fire actually restore mana back to you, and it also reduces the cast time of those 2 spells. Yes, rain of fire does have the cast time. Look at that, it's nasty. So that's cool, that is all cool and stuff, but I don't really like this, and I don't think this is actually going to survive this alpha. I'm pretty sure they're going to transition this to move away from this mana restoration thing. I could be wrong, but I don't know. Something like this is a tricky one. Stuff like this doesn't usually survive when they're trying to like put in a new playstyle and then put the old one back into a talent. That screams, no, they're just testing waters. But I didn't take reverse entropy. I wanted to go more of an advanced playstyle, so I went with mana tap, which I'll get into in a moment. As you can see, fire and brimstone, it's not an active, it's just passive. You incinerate AoEs. Like, I spec fire and brimstone right now, and I shoot this target dummy, it should hit this guy over here. Yeah, see? Boom. Nothing to it. No cooldown, no casting, just mind numbing, spamming AoE from incinerate. Alright. So then we have my friend here, mana tap. Now, mana tap is something you need to look out for, because if you mana tap when you have a lot of mana, you take a big portion of mana away. But if you mana tap, like, mana is percentage with mana tap, so the higher mana you have, the more you take. So then your playstyle of how you life tap has changed. You want to life tap as late as possible. You want to get to a point where you're so low on mana, like you're literally at these points of your mana, and you're just like throwing out spells. You're like, okay, you know what, this is a bit too low, so I will mana tap, life tap. You will never life tap then mana tap, because you're just taking away more mana. So it's just like, I love that. I love mana tap. The damage you gain from mana tap is crazy. 10% for 20 seconds. That's maddening, and you can keep this up full time. There's no real hindrance to it. Yeah, you might life tap maybe once or twice per minute more than you would have to, but 10% damage across the board, that's insane. But it is a kickoff between reverse entropy and mana tap. The problem with fighting with Destra right now is it's very haste heavy. Cast time of Chaos Bolt is insane. Obviously I'm in PvP gear here, 8% haste, that's very fucking bad, but you get nice values of haste later on. It should help. Obviously, yeah, reverse entropy does also help with this, 0.5 seconds, but I love that mana tap, and it helps with this roaring blaze thing here as well. It's just like, come on man, mana tap all the way. Alright, so 45 row, nothing really changed here, but I'm kind of disappointed with this row actually. Demon skin is no brainer. You cannot have demon skin here in this row competing against these two abilities. I just don't understand. How can this even be the case? Why is Shadow Fury not even baseline? Shadow Fury should be baseline. Like, Warlocks have nothing in terms of crowd control other than fear right now. There is nothing here. Look, none of these spells actually crowd control at all. Very surprising, even in a PvE and a PvP sense. Hoping Shadow Fury makes its way into being a baseline skill, and something else is put here. Alright, Mortal Core is still the same. It's 11% healing on a 45-second cooldown. You could argue this is like, what, a glorified Healthstone? Like, what is Healthstones nowadays? 11% of my health instantly restores health. Wow, that's very fucking helpful. 1 second. Yeah, let's get this on the roll. Sorry about this. So a Healthstone is about 400k. Yeah, 400k. A Mortal Coil, come on man, like 100, 160k. Let's just say 160k on a 45-second cooldown. Not feeling it, man. Demon Skin all the way. Absorption is even better, and it's passive. So 60 roll. I've gone with Eradication. Eradication, it's no brainer here. It's just ridiculous the fact that there's anything else on this roll. Like, you can't even compete. Eradication is just maddening. This has no cooldown, no ICD. There's nothing to it. You Chaos Bolt. That target gets a debuff. That target takes 12% more damage for 6 seconds. You Chaos Bolt again, it refreshes. Bam, nothing to it. Simple, straightforward. 12% damage. So Chaos Bolt turns into like a Colossus Smash. When you got tons of soul shards and you're blasting out those Chaos Bolts, whoo, damage is gonna be mad. Cataclysm, it's AoE, nothing really to it. Some would argue, hey, you can even use a single target. Well, maybe. No, I'm not feeling it. I don't feel it in single target at all. So, sorry, but I'm always going to see this as AoE. Even in a burst encounter, we want to kill something really quick. I still don't see it. I would still find Chaos Bolt to be, with Eradication, way better. So Cataclysm to me is AoE. Now we have Soul Harvest here. Soul Harvest. Alright, now this talent is absolutely horrible. I have no idea how this even makes it into the game like this. I could understand if it was instant. I could understand if it was less shards generated and instant. Like, not like just make it mind-numbingly easy, but 1.85 second cast with haste on top of that. So it's naturally a 2-second cast for 5 soul shards on a 2-minute cooldown. Like, you are giving me here essentially a global, a 2-second cast, a 2-minute cooldown to give me 5 shards. Now, a conflagrate is 11.1 seconds with that same haste modifier, so 1.85. That's 5 conflagrates on a 2-minute cooldown that deal no damage and has a cost. That is ridiculous. That's maddening. Like, the justification of 5 soul shards on 2 minutes versus Chaos Bolt making my target take 12% more damage for 6 seconds. From all sources. From me. Come on, man. Soul Harvest really needs to be fixed up. 75 roll. Very sad to see demonic circles here. Very sad. Same for Burning Rush. Wow. I was when I first saw this, I was just like, nah, man, this can't be real. This can't be like dark packs here. Like, how did this happen? Where were they going with this? All your mobility is gone. Like, dark pact is no brainer. These two are just situational. And I've done quite a bit of raid testing on the alpha. I've never missed a test. I've done every test. Heroic, Mythic. And I can tell you that I've not even seen a place where Demonic Circle and Burning Rush could even be utilized. Not even utilized. I could get away with just using my gateway instead. Dark Pact all the way. 90 roll. Now this 90 roll is really, really funny. And I know there's a blue post about this 90 roll where Destro isn't really synergizing correctly with this roll, but we're on a later date. But let's go over a few things. Supremacy is horrible. It is garbage. There is not a single moment in time where you will use Supremacy as a Destro Warlock. It turns your Doomguard here into an active pet. So Doomguard will actually be a pet. Now you're like, alright, cool, Doomguard. You know, Doomguard does tons of damage. Why don't you want this, real? Well, okay. It has an execute to it, all nice and dandy. The damage it deals is garbage. And obviously, yes, it's alpha, numbers, but right now I don't see the premise of why this exists. Because not only are you turning your only cooldown into a passive, so you essentially have no cooldowns. There's no Dark Soul. Look, all my skills are here on my bars, right? There's no Dark Soul. There's nothing. So Supremacy, I don't understand. There's not enough emphasis in the Doomguard to make me want Supremacy. Why can't I just have a Doomguard on cooldown? If I'm really going to use it for 20% execute moments, then it's better to be a cooldown. It has to be so much better than the Imp. Okay, fair enough. But then here's the thing, guys. Look, let me show you how much synergy the Imp has. The Imp, not only does it deal proportionate less damage than the Doomguard about 34k, but this is 50% increased if my target has an immolate. So then essentially my Imp is as strong as my Doomguard, but it has synergy with my spec. It works. And there are traits in my artifact tree that synergize with the Imp. The Imp essentially is the themed pet for Destro. And by having service, I summon out a second Imp on a 25-second duration. And the cooldown of this is 1.5 minutes. That's 1 minute 30 seconds. So for 1 minute and 5 seconds, this Imp will not be up. But it will be coming soon to deal an additional 100% more damage. This is a real cooldown right here. This service Imp is mad. Best thing ever. But even still, there are other pets which could even synergize. Even the other pets that don't synergize as well as the Imp would still be a better choice than Supremacy. Which is the problem, because you still retain a Doomguard. It's a 3-minute cooldown for 25 seconds. I don't know, man. I just don't feel Supremacy at all. It needs to really be changed. And I don't really like this role for Destro. I feel like this is a copy and paste from Athlean Demo. They seriously couldn't think of a different kind of talent role for Destro. Like, at least Destro should be its own thing. I was kind of thinking even petless Destro. I'm pretty sure Warlocks out there be screaming, that's right, petless Destro for the MFTW, man. Alright, so let's get to Sacrifice. Now, Sacrifice is Grimoire of AoE, and that's really all I can see from it. Grimoire of AoE. That's it. I don't know what more I can say to you guys. 20k on damage? No. 20k on AoE from all my spells? Yeah. I can see that. Wreak Havoc. Yes. This is legit. This is illegal. I can't believe this even exists. Destro to have permanent cleave on everything they do. Because the cooldown of Havoc, right, is removed. And it would last 20 seconds. Like, what? Like, every 20 seconds, you would put up Havoc on that other target and just continue single targeting. And that damage would just transfer 100%. There's nothing to it. Just bam. Havoc, nuke, and just whoa. Wreak Havoc is legit. Any fight where you got multiple targets, wreak Havoc, guys. Wreak Havoc. Alright, Channel Doomfire. Probably this talent needs a medal. It needs like a Nobel Prize for the worst ability, worst talent in the game. This is the worst ability ever. It literally does nothing. So I'm an immolate here, and this Channel Doomfire is gonna fly over to this target. Yeah, minuscule damage. My immolate is ticking currently higher than, I don't know, the whole of the Channel Doomfire most likely. Like 42k crit. Okay, maybe not. It's competing. 2 crits of immolate is higher than Channel Doomfire. So then you're like, yeah, but zero damage hasn't been tuned, blah blah blah. Okay, fair enough, guys. But look, even if it was an AoE ability, it can only shoot 15 bolts. So if there is 15 mobs, only each mob's gonna be hit by an immolate from the Cataclysm. So you're going full AoE spec here. You're ready to go with fucking crazy. Cataclysm on those 15 mobs, each of them are gonna get hit by Channel Doomfire, right? Okay. So they're hit by Channel Doomfire, but they're each going to receive 1 bolt. That's it. There's no 16 bolts, there's no 17 bolts, there's no 15 bolts each target. It's 15 bolts. What's the point? At least make them splash. If the bolts splashed, I could understand. But what's gonna happen is I'll put immolate here, and I'll put immolate here, and I'll do channel doomfire, and my bolts are just like jumping between. And yes, the damage on this target is gonna be ramped up like crazy because they're 80. But I'm just trying to show you here. Look, you're not getting extra bolts. You are shooting 15 bolts no matter what you do. So channel doomfire, the concept is illogical. This thing shouldn't even be here. Needs changing, needs tuning, needs everything. I don't understand. And plus it's a channeled. Wow, don't get me started. The fact that it's a channeled. Let's move on. Soul Conduit. Alright, now Soul Conduit is insane with Shadowburn. This is what I was on about earlier. You can literally blast a target with Shadowburn. Let me just quickly spec Shadowburn. Look how many shards I have. Right? 3. Didn't proc, but if you get some streaks going here with Soul Conduit, sorry, it's crazy. You can get back so many shards. When we were doing ad fights on one of the eye bosses, let me just quickly get his name. Ilgnoth Harpcrux, one of my warlocks in my guild, he went Shadowburn. Shout out to Dave X, you guys might know him. He played Soul Conduit with Shadowburn and he was just like blasting them up, Shadowburn. He was just getting so many shards back. It's like Shadowburn for days. And even when he didn't kill the target, because he was Shadowburning like a madman, this eventually procced and he was completely refunded on those shards. Yeah, it's crazy. Some would say, yeah, you click on wreak havoc, but testing purposes, Soul Conduit Shadowburn is a mad combo. Look out for this. This is something you guys should really look out for in the future. Could change, could put a cooldown on this, but this was insane. But obviously that's not the case right now. I prefer using my shards on Chaos Bolt. If you notice, the damage is somewhat similar, but Chaos Bolt always crits, has more synergy, works with gear. Shadowburn is just flat. It doesn't really work with gear at all. I mean, just mastery, and yeah, it crits from crit chance, but Chaos Bolt as well. So scaling issue versus Chaos Bolt. Shadowburn does not win. It's more of an ad switching thing. Snap targets here and here. You probably will never use this single target unless it's some kind of set bonus or some kind of gimmick. I just don't see it being the case. So let's quickly get into the artifact. Straight away, you're given Dimensional Rift, 45-second recharge, 1.39 second card. Obviously that's from haste. Doesn't really tell you what it does other than that you open a portal from God knows where. So here it is. It has no cast animation, so I'm sorry about that, but this is what it is doing. Look, it's just boing. Come on, shoot him out, baby. Look at that thing go. Just shooting bolts for days. That's it. That's all there is to it. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to think about it. Just whip it out and it shoots. Has 3 charges, so eventually my thing will come back. Now, I'm on the fence with this ability. It has no synergy with Destro. It literally does not fit the theme. And I know Blizzard's pretty big on theme this expansion for specs and classes. I don't see this being the correct decision for Destro, especially how the ability works. If I ripped open a dimension and some infernals were like bombarding the target, I could understand thematically. But it's not. It's just like some shadow bolts are just flying out of the portal and hitting my target, and it doesn't even do that much damage. It's 3 charges, 45-second cooldown or a recharge. I just don't see this being a very good trait. And I know Destro's that one of the latest specs to the alpha. It actually is the last spec to the alpha to be added. So it probably was rushed. They're probably still on the fence about this. Probably some new one out there that they just didn't throw out for us to play with. Dimensional Rift. There's loads of places you can use it because it does so minuscule damage. You can't really say where to use it. But I personally like using it inside a Chaos Bolt Eradication. If I was to really think about it, I would obviously start my fight with a mana tap, put on my Immolate into a conflag, that would then put me at 2 shards. I would then throw out a Chaos Bolt, and then that would put me that 6-second window. I'd then do my Dimensional Rift to get, you know, those portals and whatnot going. Then I would do my second conflag. Now, in those situations, I'd hope that Soul Conduit actually procced, which put me at my second shard back, instead of me wasting 2 shards on the first initial Chaos Bolt. Or even an Immolate critting or ticking crit, you know, so I'd be at 3 instead. So I'd then do another Chaos Bolt on top to refresh the Eradication. Then I'll do another Dimensional Rift. See, this is where you're keeping it inside like trinket pools and whatnot. But at the same time, you could even consider just completely wasting a Dimensional Rift, like pot then precast Dimensional Rift. It's very gimmicky. I don't like that it has a cost. There are many things wrong with this Dimensional Rift skill, but it is what it is for now. Hopefully later on they fixed it up. Let's move on. Flames of the Pit, which is a fire damage amp. Well, here's the thing. If you look at your damage done with Dimensional Rift, it doesn't really come up in logs, but I looked at it, looked into it, and it's actually not fire damage, it's just shadow damage, which is very surprising. But hopefully that will again be changed later on. So it doesn't scale with Flames of the Pit. Soul Snatcher. Chaos Bolt has a 15% chance to refund 1 soul shard. Now I don't know if this is intentional, but I've actually had my Chaos Bolt give me back 2 shards. That means Soul Conduit and Soul Snatcher, they work separately. They can literally plop on the same Chaos Bolt. Bam, 2 shards back. That's insane. That's mad. That's illegal and it's fixed. But not. That's intended. I'll take it. I'll take it. Fire and the Flames. Well, 10% cast time on Incinerate. Considering how garbage Incinerate is, I'm actually glad there's something like this in the tree to make it actually worth being pressed. I could just sit there and just Immolate and conflag for days and wait for my Immolate to crit. So here I was on about Impish Incineration. Imp synergy. Right there. Come on. What more do I need to say? Lord of the Flames. Rain of Fire, summon an Inferno to serve you for 8 seconds. Alright. So I will quickly just demonstrate this for... I know some of you guys out there like animations and spell looks and whatnot. Here you go. Here's the Rain of Fire. There's that little Inferno. Look at him just beat that target. That's his damage there. Like 335k. Don't think that's a lot, by the way. He's hitting that level 80 dummy. He does about 20k, 30k. It's nothing big, but he AoEs all the time. Like he's got his little pulse going on, so it's like an extra layer of AoE, guys. It's not going to be like the most dynamic change to Rain of Fire. Rain of Fire is just Rain of Fire. There's nothing more to it. It just takes away soul shards. That's what's new to Rain of Fire. Alright, let's work back down. Well, actually, let's go up. Burning Hunger. Critical strike chance of Immolate. 30%. The shards are there. I swear to God, the shards, they're coming, guys. They come. Burning Hunger. This is insane. I'm pretty sure later on, if these numbers in my head even make sense, relics augment these free talents. I don't think there are relics that exist that will affect stuff like this. But these free talents, like, so I'm thinking if he wants to go 4 out of 4, it'd be like 40%, maybe 35%. But essentially you have 3 of them and they can augment the same spell. So it's just like you would get so much crit on your Immolate. It's insane how much shards will just be thrown at you. Big Chaos Bolt in left, right and center. Very cool. One of the most coolest 3 out of 3 traits I've actually seen from all specs. I like this a lot. But at the same time, it's kind of lame that you have stuff like this. It kind of like diminishes crit, except for on Chaos Bolt and other spells. But you don't really have anything outside of Incinerate, Conflag, and Chaos Bolt anyways. So it is what it is. Residual flames. Increase the damage dealt by immolate by 30%. Stuff like this is just flat. You expect to see this across the board everywhere. And then you have the garbage traits like this. Drain Life has a 45% chance to increase its damage and healing by 25% for 15 seconds. Guys, I can tell you this straight away. This will never make it so you drain life for damage. Okay? Get that out of your head. You will never drain life for damage. This is just, if you're in a situation where you're dying and you thought, you know what? My healers have suddenly forgotten how to heal. No one's targeting me anymore. Everyone hates me. I don't have a health stone or a health pot. There's nothing else to do. I don't even have a bandage. I'm gonna drain life. And you had to move, but you procced Devour of Life. This is just so, oh, congratulations, you got now 25% extra healing and damage for those 15 seconds that you want to waste your time casting Drain Life. And I know I'm being sarcastic as fuck, but that's how shit this trait is. Next one, Planeswalker. Teleporting through your demonic gateway heals you for 50% of your maximum health. See, why do I even need the Devour of Life? I just pop the gateway, bam, half my health is back. Devour of Life. Alright, Conflagration of Chaos. Conflagrate has a chance to guarantee your next Conflagrate to critically, to guarantee crit. That's it. That's it. And the only thing else it does is it scales with crit chance. Shocker, right? You get an ability that makes you 100% crit, and they thought, you know what? We'll make it so we'll keep the crit scaling, we don't diminish it too much, and give you guys a crit modifier on top of the crit. You wish it this for killing with machine for use busting. Nice. Yeah, cool. It is actually cool, but the thing is, the second one can never trigger the crit. Conflag can't trigger the next conflag to crit. So if I conflag, right, I plopped Conflagration of Chaos, but this next conflag that consumes this, it can never trigger Conflagration of Chaos. Take note. Now, you might have also caught on that I use Roaring Blaze, so when I conflag, I then, it's not guaranteed by the way, let's wait for it again, conflag. So I've got it out for 19 seconds, so I used my first one to refresh. I'm going to get it back in 11 seconds. So I'm going to keep that immolate going until the very end, right? So that immolate is going to be going to the very end. And then, oh, my immolate's out. So I'm put my immolate up. And look, that conflag's still there. Bam. Value on immolate. Still there, baby. Still there. And the immolate's very short. It's 15 seconds. And this lasts 19. So there's no timing issues. You'll always immolate into conflag. That's it. Let's move on. Master of Disaster. Increase the damage dealt by Incinerate by 15%. That's a funny wordplay right there. Demonic Durability. Reduce the cooldown of Unending Resolve. Yep, no more glyph, boys. No more face roll. You actually got to press your defensive cooldowns now. Here you go. Demonic Resolve. As you can see, it's not a 2-minute cooldown instead. Let's move on. After casting Life Tap, you take 30% less damage for 6 seconds. Cool, I guess. It's nice. Don't hit it, guys. It's good. I've seen times where a warlock has Life Tap and a mechanic flies out and you just get shreked. They can say, yeah, that guy's a jackass, but he's trying to kill the boss. Boss is like 5% health. He's got like no mana, no health. Boss is about to end rage in like 5 seconds. There's been times, man. There's been times. You've been that guy. Don't tell me you haven't been that guy. But at the same time, this won't really find its place. I guess if you know your healers are like a raid cooldown, like a healing cooldown, like Tide or Trank, you could maybe take use out of this, like pre-use it, make them so they top you. You can get that little window going with deduction, but it's all circumstantial, guys. It's all circumstantial. It's all good. Chaotic Instability. Increase the critical strike damage dealt by Chaos Bolt by 15%. That's crazy. That's really good. If I was to put money on what are the relics, it's between these three. So these two, not three. These two. Don't look at the Incinerate one. The Immolate crit and the chaotic instabilities. That's pretty good. I like that. That's very nice. Dimensional Ripper. Incinerate has a 6% chance to grant a charge of Dimensional Rift. See, that's what I was missing, that Incinerate synergy. For a minute there, I thought Incinerate was just going to be there to do like minuscule damage. It does do something else. It also refreshes the charge of the most useless trait cooldown you have. So I guess that's what makes Dimensional Rift so good. Wow. Teach me. This is very bad. The fact that it works with Dimensional Rift is nice. The synergy is there. But this does not work nice. This is horrible. One charge. Give it a big cooldown. Make this so it just takes off a portion. And Dimensional Rift just like rip open the nether and some meteors are just like bombarding your target. They're just flying out. It's like, whoa. That's destruction. Get it? Destruction Warlock? Come on, man. I'm not even a game developer. I've really freaking something that's much better than this crap. So at the end of the day, with all the ranting and jokes aside, and as much information as I can give you, how does it play? Well, it plays many ways, to be fair. I've gone through many playstyles, I've said, where you can do a mana tap at the start, precast a Dimensional Rift, do my immolate into a conflag, oh, I proc the shard, right? So then you're like, whoa, okay, so I got enough to actually do a Grimoire Imp. The Grimoire Imp's going to do the work. Do the work, Grimoire Imp. Now, I'm going to get off a Chaos Bolt, right? I'm also going to do this conflag, put up my immolate, conflag again, got my Chaos Bolt damage. See, I really need this haste. I really, really need this haste, right? I'm so slow. Look, just to even land at the second Chaos Bolt, just about made it. Like, Jesus. So then you'll be like, oh, but you could have took backdraft and reverse entropy. Yes, I know. But you got to really think about it. With a bit of haste, these traits don't really, stop shooting them, don't really work with haste. So I'm not saying this is the best. It's just something I went with. I like the big number kind of thing. But for argument's sake, let's go play with the faster spec. Rip mana tap. Well, at this rate, you don't even need life tap. Look, I just took off my bars. I don't even need that trait that gives me damage reduction for life tap anymore. Look, I'll just do this. Alright. Don't even have to worry about that immolate refreshing anyway. Look, I got my Chaos Bolt off. I'll do another one. Let's do another Chaos Bolt. It's like, look, I just got this shit on the fly. Like, no problem. Let's just keep it going. And, you know, fuck it. Let's do all the portals. Let's go mad. Look at that. They're flying in, guys. Look at that. They're going mad. Chaotic Barrage. Mad. Very mad. And yeah, that did look a lot cooler. I won't take that away. That having those 3 portals out there looked insane, but they don't do anything, guys. They don't do anything. Come on, man. 14k damage. Like, I can't even show you the tooltip of the damage they do. But that one did chaos damage. There was another one shooting damage that wasn't chaos. It don't even show up in my logs. It's very broken, the skill. And it wasn't chaos. I tried this on a person. They said the damage they were taking was shadow. So it is what it is. This is Destruction Warlocks. Oh, I didn't actually show you the Doom Guard as it was a cooldown. Let me just do that for you. Sorry about that. Alright, so Doom Guard, here you go. There's the Doom Guard. And there's a pet. See, look, I got them both out. See, wouldn't that be much better than having Supremacy and having a permanent Doom Guard? Look, I wouldn't lose the imp. I'd have 2 imps. 2 imps. Look at them. Going crazy. These imps are mad. I need to keep up that immolate. Make him do tons of damage. Look. Wait. Come on, shoot some crits, imps. Shoot some crits. 70k. 70k. This dude does like 34, because this one does 100% more, but 70k non-crit. That's crazy. And he's out for 25 seconds. And could you imagine me being scaled into raid gear? I know it does a lot of damage. this Grimoire service. So, anyways, so end of the day, Destruction Warlocks are in need of some change here and there, but overall the spec plays pretty good. Doesn't do as much damage, or obviously some tuning issues between classes, but Destro is pretty simple. There's nothing really to it outside of the mana tap, where you have to track, you have to life tap, you take reverse entropy, and Destro is as simple as it is today. I don't even have life tap on my bars when I'm reverse entropy. You will never need it. Like, you can maybe just use that gimmick with the damage reduction with this. Well, that's it. That's all you're really ever gonna get out of life tap if you ever play reverse entropy. So, Destruction Warlock, guys. In a nutshell, if you enjoyed the video, please do say in the comment section below. I actually made this video quite a while ago. I didn't really like it. I didn't really feel like I gave you guys enough. So this is a remake, so congrats, I guess. I will be making a lot more videos. It's just we've been doing raid testing. And I'm looking at some of our guys play their specs as main. I don't main 99% of these classes, obviously, that I've showed you. I main a warrior right now, a DPS warrior, and I'm actually the third tank for my guild. But in Legion, you can maybe most likely see me rolling Demon Hunter, and yeah, like everyone else and their grandma. But warriors aren't exactly being treated fairly on the alpha either. But expect to get more out of me. I'm gonna do every spec, I promise, at least. Not tanks, not so sure what I will filter out. But I've actually done some healer Q&A. Those are coming up. I don't really advertise those as much, but I've done the other two Warlock specs, so I've actually covered Warlock. The next Warlock videos you can expect to see out of me is towards the end. I might just do like one video to cover all three specs, or I might just do 3 videos for each spec individually if they have done a lot of change. The expansion is coming out August 30th. Expect some live guides for these specs. I will cover every DPS spec and make a live guide per tier. I will literally tell you how to play, in my opinion. Like, you don't have to listen to me. I'm not the gospel, right? I'm not the Bible. I will tell you how to play what I think is efficiently, and I will use the knowledge that my fellow warlocks in my guild have, put that together and give you guys warlock guides if you want that. If you don't want that, then, you know, good luck to you. But this has been Destruction Warlock and my little rant and life story at the end. Any feedback, please throw in the comment section below. Any suggestions, I'm up for those. Any criticism, throw that as well, I guess. Azril out, I guess, and have a nice day.